I'm going to show you how to make a really simple vegetable soup. Now today, to demonstrate, I'm going to make a carrot and coriander, but this method is one you can use for using up any kinds of root vegetables, any vegetables really. It's a really great economical way of making food for your family. Now I'm going to start with some oil, and at this stage I'm going to add anything I want to flavour it. So I've got onions, and so I'm not wasting anything, I'm going to add some coriander leaves later. I've just topped up my coriander stalks because that gives you a lot of flavour as well. So those are going to go in too. This is the stage I'd add anything like celery, I'd add leeks if I was making leek and potato, ginger, anything like that which needs to be softened a bit in oil first and isn't going to cook simply through sweating with stock. I'm going to increase my heat a little bit in my pan. And I just want to cook them for a couple of minutes to get them soft. Now when you're making a vegetable soup like this, you can add as much vegetables as you want and then just top it up with stock. So they're starting to soften. Now I'm going to add the spices that I want to use. I've got some ground coriander here. It's important to cook out spices you're flavouring your soups with. So you want to get them in just for the last couple of minutes with the onions. So your base vegetables are in there, they're nice and soft, your spices are cooked out, and now it's time to go in with your main vegetable that you want to flavour your soup with. So I've got some carrots. Now these are all cut to approximately the same size because I want them to cook evenly and in the same amount of time. And just for another minute, I'm going to cook them around just to start to let the heat soften them before I add my stock. So as I said, this would work great with potatoes, with parsnips, something like that for the winter. If you were making a summery soup, you could do carrots, add some beans, make it like a minestrone. So I've got some heat into my carrots now, and this is when I'm going to add my vegetable stock. Again, I'm just going to add enough to just about cover the veg. And I'm going to turn up the heat on that and simmer it until my veg are tender. So that's going to take, probably with carrots that size, about 10 to 15 minutes to get soft. Now I've got one that I prepared earlier. So once your carrots have been cooking, they're lovely and tender, so they'd be ready to eat. Now you want to let it just cool for a minute before you blend it because you don't want to be working with really boiling hot liquids. So that's cooled for a bit. Now I'm also going to add a little bit of cream. So I've got that in, and now I'm going to go straight to my mixer. If you haven't got one of these, just gently ladle it into a blender and use a blender. So that soup is nice and blended now. I've left it a little bit chunky because I like that. If you're doing yours in a blender and you want it to still have some chunks of vegetable in it, just hold a little bit back and then blend the rest and remix it in afterwards. I'm just going to season it. This is also the stage as well where if you want to change the thickness at all and it's too thick, you didn't have enough stock in to start, you can just pour a bit in now and just put it back on to heat up. Stir that into your soup. This is my simple carrot and coriander soup, and as I said, any other vegetables, just use the same sort of method. I like the consistency here. And then I'm going to use some of those coriander leaves just to scatter over the top, just to serve. And that's how you make a really simple vegetable soup.